There's a common theme with Kevin Durant-led teams that lead them to not be as successful as they possibly could be year after year, no matter where he goes, and it seems to be a curse that just follows him around the NBA. Unfortunately, this has happened with each and every Kevin Durant pit stop. This glaring deficiency has followed him even all the way back to his days in OKC, and it definitely is taking a toll on the amount of success that Kevin Durant can and could have had in his career. What's goody? It's your host Jay Rose, as always, and please hit the sub button. Over 90% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed, so if you're messing with the videos, please leave a like and subscribe. But let's get into it. At every single pit stop, Kevin Durant has had an injury to himself and an injury to teammates that have definitely made a difference with them winning. You can go all the way back to Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant hurt his foot. Westbrook was also dealing with injuries when Pat Bev jumped and tackled his kneecap. You can look at Golden State. Obviously, Golden State is where he had the bulk of his success, but he could have had more. He definitely could have had more. Kevin Durant, obviously himself, he tore his Achilles. Klay Thompson also tore his Achilles and his ACL. I don't remember which one was first. I think it was the Achilles injury as well for Klay in that Toronto run. And then you go to Brooklyn, and we all know what happened with Brooklyn. Everybody was hurt. Kyrie was getting hurt or suspended. KD was getting hurt often. James Harden was just hobbled the entire time and honestly hasn't really recovered fully since then. And now we're at Phoenix, and the same issue is arising again. And I can only blame KD for this to a certain extent because he's the person who has been constructing these rosters since he left Golden State. These rosters are catered to how Kevin Durant wants them to be made, and he wants his stars. He wants his star guys. He wants to build a roster where there's 3 buckets, and then you figure out how you're going to fill up the rest of the roster, which I keep telling people is not how you should probably be building teams in today's NBA. You need a complete roster if you really want to have success in today's NBA. If you just take a look at the Phoenix Suns roster and the fact that the Big Three hasn't even played a game yet, you can see how this is really affecting them. If they had more depth instead of trying to go for that third star, that third bucket guy, that third big name, they could definitely keep themselves way farther above water than they would be otherwise if they just didn't have this 3-star format. You can go back to the Brooklyn Nets. They started off with Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and the rest of the Brooklyn role players that made the playoffs. Literally the year before they got there, they made the playoffs. They traded D'Angelo Russell for KD. They brought Kyrie in, and they had all of those role players. They had Spencer Dinwiddie, they had Jared Allen, they had Karis LeVert, and they traded all of those good pieces that would have made them a complete team for James Harden, and we saw how that panned out. It did not go well for them. So the fact that KD goes to Phoenix, you have Chris Paul to expend, and instead of trying to get more depth, you go out for a player like Bradley Beal. And I'm just saying, if you can go out and get a star name, you can definitely get some role players to help fit what you're trying to build on your squad instead of just trying to have a top-heavy team, because what happens is when your players are hurt, which those Suns players are hurt very often. Kevin Durant has been in and out the whole season. Devin Booker been in and out the whole season. Bradley Beal has played 4 games. So if we're being really serious about this roster construction, this should have never been a thing in the first place, especially since you've seen how this panned out. It worked out for you in Golden State because y'all stayed healthy for the majority of it, but even towards the end of that run in Toronto in that final series, y'all got hurt. Y'all lost the finals. You go to Brooklyn, never even made a finals appearance because Kyrie is either hurt or James Harden was hurt or both. You're sitting there carrying a squad against a Milwaukee Bucks team and you ran out of gas because you can't do that by yourself, especially against a team that is complete. So the fact that he went to Phoenix and he meticulously made this squad to be built like his previous teams were built, with the same exact things wrong with the roster, the same exact deficiencies with these rosters, it's Kevin Durant's fault at some point. I will say it's very unfortunate that the injury bug is hitting these squads so hard, because if they could stay healthy, I'm guaranteeing you that the Brooklyn Nets would have had a championship. And if the Phoenix Suns can stay healthy this year, they have a really, really good chance. But I said this before the season started, and now that the season has started and we're seeing this pattern, they're not a healthy team. Devin Booker I expected to be more healthy, and even he hasn't been as healthy as I thought he would be. Kevin Durant, I knew he was going to be injured and in and out the whole year because he has been the past couple of seasons ever since he came back from the Achilles tear. He's been playing well, but besides him playing well, you have to be on the court and contribute in order to build chemistry with your teammates and get these wins, because at the end of the day, home court advantage in the playoffs does matter. If you're going to have to play on the road against a lot of these teams, i.e. the Denver Nuggets, who just beat y'all last year, you're going to have to play the Lakers. You don't want to face the Lakers on their home turf. You're not going to want to face one of these young teams on their home turf either, like the Thunder. I'm just saying, it could really give y'all a boost if you could win these games in the regular season and keep a high seed, and it would be a lot easier to do that if you had a rotation of players. So even if one star was out, you could still keep yourself afloat. But with one star out, you have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker playing together. You're kind of just hoping that Bradley Beal can bring it because he hasn't looked too hot this season. When it's KD and Book, they fare a lot better. But most of the season, it's just been Kevin Durant or Devin Booker. They've played their games together. Both of them have been in and out. It's just not a good formula for success, and I think KD knows that. So the fact that he's really trying to make these squads is terrible. But like I said, it really is a curse that they get hurt this often. It's kind of crazy. This one I felt was more predictable. Bradley Beal is not a super high radar player. He was on the Washington Wizards his whole career. So after they stopped making the playoffs, it was like, who's really looking out for Bradley Beal? But I paid attention, and I noticed that Bradley Beal is going to miss a chunk of games each season. Now, did I know he was going to come in and literally not play for the first quarter of the season? Absolutely not. I had no clue that was going to happen. But now that we're here, it was not very hard to tell that this was going to be the case, especially with the third star that you chose to go alongside you. So you have two injury-prone players. You have a guy in D-Book who's not staying healthy this season. It's just not looking like a good recipe for success. And Kevin Durant is also aging. I hope this doesn't become a lost year for the Suns. I hope they can get healthy and build some momentum. But this has just been the pattern for KD-led teams for his whole career pretty much. So I definitely do hope the Suns can turn it around and not keep this pattern going. But the KD curse is definitely living on right now. Hey man, if you enjoyed the video, like I said, make sure to subscribe. 90% of people are not subscribed. I'm gonna just let y'all, do the thing real quick. You did it? Alright, I'll catch y'all on the next one.